Next up, we have Janet Connolly, and the title of her 5-minute talk is Good Advice.
Know your audience. I'm sure we've all received some advice for public speaking. Know your audience was one of 3 things every speaker should do, according to an article I was handed to prepare for my first public meeting 25 years ago. It also advised, make eye contact. And it also said, breathe, be cool. It was 1993 at a public library in Weymouth. At this and when this library meeting room, I was going to say, I saw a couple of looks on the audience here. I am not going to talk about any specific site because I know my audience, so breathe, be cool. This is a story about what I've learned from public speaking and public meetings over the past 25 years. In this library meeting room, when it got full, they would close the doors at the back of the room. There were about 60 people sitting in folding chairs on the left and right of a large center aisle, like a courtroom. And it was very much like that. My client, the defendant, was seating in the front row on the left. Next to him was my boss, like counsel at the defendant's table. I was up front with DEP, and after presenting a work plan for risk assessment, a woman in the audience stood up and she said, well, I don't know much about risk assessment, but I think that this young woman, pointing to me, is going to do a good job. Would you come back and tell us what you found out? Will do. I am crushing this meeting. Then, suddenly, the double doors to the back of the room are forced open. A latecomer to the meeting rushes up the center aisle to take the one remaining seat in the front of the room. The witness for the prosecution had arrived. This witness left her house in a hurry to come down to the meeting, and I knew this because she had curlers in the back of her hair and a house coat zipped up to there. I have a question, she said, pointing to me. I've been reading about lead and arsenic and soil in the newspaper. My cat has been missing for 9 days. I think the soil killed my cat. And what are you going to do about that? That woman over there thinks I'm doing a good job. This woman alleges I killed her cat. Recently, I gave a talk on PCBs in building materials at a women's prison. At a women's prison. You may be surprised to learn this about me. I have never been to prison, never binged Orange is the New Black. What I know about prison I got from Law and Order, and the one thing for certain you are not supposed to do is make eye contact. Attendance at this meeting was voluntary. There were about 60 inmates seated in folding chairs in the gymnasium at the prison. I was up front, the environmental director stood here, and the warden. 8 correctional officers stood guard along the wall of the gym, flanking either side of the exit doors. There was no barrier between me and the inmates except for about 15 feet of air. An air moat separated us. When it came time to ask questions, the inmates would yell over each other, a lot of over-talking. No, it's my turn. No, you get to ask. No, Brenda, go ahead. You get to ask the next question. Brenda sat in the front row, and she had a lot of questions for me. If PCBs are toxic, why do they use them? These studies in animals, they're rats and mice, right? And how do PCBs affect people? Brenda and I are making eye contact, and we are locked in conversation. Then, suddenly, a crash of folding chairs in the back of the room. A guard leaps off the wall, hand on taser, protective stance. We look to the back of the room. We see 5 inmates are now separated. The guards are quickly escorting them out the doors of the gym. The double doors close behind them. The guards resume their position on the wall. The inmates look at me. They don't move at all. I am standing a foot away from Brenda, and I am knee-deep in this air moat. Breathe. Be cool. Get to the other side of the moat. Wait. This conversation with Brenda is like a lot of conversations I've had at public meetings. And in many ways, it's the same audience. People have valid concerns about their health or about the health of their pets when they find out about unexpected chemicals where they live. I'm going to go back into that moat because we know our audience.